how to incorporate delayed gratification into our lives?
So one thing you can do is, if you are having a bigger goal, you can break it into a smaller goals where you can like reach it, like uh, next day you have to do this, or in a short period of time, and smaller goals. So that will give you instant gratification. Also, you will also wait for the bigger goal to get completed. And another thing that I found useful was like to be empathetic about your future self. What if you are having instant gratification now? Would your future self be happy or sad or angry? If there is a negative, emotions or thoughts going on in your future self, you can make it delayed gratification. So when you're understanding yourself in the future, it would help you. And more or less, it is just self-regulation. It is hard for some people. We have to work on it if you are wanting to remove instant gratification from your life.
You've given a very good answer, again, a very sensible way of looking at it too. And I'm glad you talked about it can be hard and so you have to go through the grind to be able to do that. Deepak?
The way I see it, the reason instant gratification is so appealing is largely because people are trying to constantly avoid discomfort, right? It's not so much the gratification of what you're seeking, it's what you're running away from. And so learning to live with that discomfort, that is something that can really help with delaying gratification. And so sometimes you should just spend time sitting by yourself, thinking and being with yourself. And having a digital detox is something that some of my friends do, not for very long or successfully, but they do it and it helps. So these kind of things, just learning to do what you need to do. If you have to work for an hour without distraction, make sure you do it throughout that hour. And some people have recommended mindfulness meditation. I haven't tried it, but then they do say that being more mindful, conscious of where you are and everything around you, that kind of attitude does help with learning to accept delayed gratification.
Thank you for sharing that. And it is very true. People do run away from discomfort, and eh, any pain, small or big, you don't want to have it. You never say, you know what, give me the pain. I'll wait for the gain. Nobody says that. Nobody wants that. If that is a way to get the gain without the pain, you would do that. And sometimes even if you know there's a gain, you're like, you know what, I can't see the gain now, but I see the pain now. And there's an instant pain, and that's the thing that I can see, so I don't want to do that. And that's why people don't go to the gym after January 1st. January 2nd, they're like, you know what, it's fine. And the same thing happens with a lot of things that we start off on January 1st, because it's a new year, it's a new me, and you do a lot of good things and you get the instant gratification, and then after that it's sort of gone. Anybody else?
With instant gratification, what's helped to me to build up that tolerance of discomfort, because I remember growing up being super sensitive about these things. Like if I was sitting down and studying and it got too much, I would just want to stop. So I remember like going through this very intentionally. So some of the things that helped me then was starting off with something that you don't have emotional involvement in. So if you're trying to not, you know, instantly gratify yourself with stuff like social media, and it's what you do almost every single day, it might be difficult to just like quit it cold turkey. So build up that tolerance or exercise that muscle with things that don't mean that much to you currently. So you can abstain from stuff like, if you don't use Reddit that much, then just intentionally tell yourself, I'm not going to open it for 4 days. And then if you build that self-confidence, like, hey, I could do that with this, maybe I can tackle the big guns now, that definitely helped, like building it up somewhere else and then applying it to a different place. Also just normalizing that it's the meme, like we live in a society, right? You're not uniquely awful for needing that instant gratification, because that's how we function a lot. But there's a lot of cool alternative sources for just gratification that might not be like openly available to you. But if you talk to people around you who live different lifestyles, or if you can, put in that time to research that, you'll find things that you might actually genuinely enjoy more. So it doesn't just have to be abstaining, it can just be rechanneling it into a different way of making yourself feel good. So yeah, Deepak, did were you about to say something to what I just said?
Right, yeah. I wanted to thank you for bringing up the idea that we're not uniquely awful. And I just have one quick question here that I want everyone to answer. How many hours per day do you all spend on social media or just mindless browsing on the internet? Because I think everybody thinks that they're the worst at this, but almost all of us spend way too much time on these things, and the idea of that needs to be normalized to the audience. So just give me a number of hours.
Oh, I can go super quick because I've been working on this. So when I was in college, I was at just my phone time. So I don't know how much of it was social media. My phone time was 10 hours, just like doing things just online, right? And now I've gotten it down to, after a very, very long time, I've gotten it down to 3. But that's because I'm on vacation. So let's be realistic about that number. I'm on vacation. I have the privilege of like putting my phone away. So, you know, 3 for now. But it used to be, very realistically, it used to be 10.
I'll probably say 10 too, because even if I'm like not using it where I'm like actively using it, I do sort of like listen to music or something like because I have my headphones on, like or sort of use it and then do something. So it's probably 10 for me as well.
I have a thing on my phone. They have this feature called like digital well-being, and so it like tries to set. Well, I can set goals for myself of like how much time I'm supposed to use, and I fail repeatedly. So I think I average on my phone around like 6.5 hours a day, but that doesn't count the time I'm on my laptop watching YouTube or TV shows through streaming platforms. So I think I would spend close to like 9 hours on like 8 to 9 hours a day.
So before 2020, it was like 10 hours, 12 hours. I was constantly on my phone. But now, actually, I've reduced it to 2 because I'm working a lot and I'm spending a lot of time with family. And I've adopted 3 puppies and I couldn't get more time with them. And, and I usually watch TV shows or movies when I'm eating. So it's just like doing 2 works together. And then I don't do that. Maybe at night I browse. And I haven't opened my Instagram for I don't know a month or so. So I feel like I've reduced it a lot, but I'm not like very proud of it or it's normal, right? It sometimes happens like this, and sometimes I'm going back to 10 hours, 12 hours. It's okay if it is if you are still productive after using being on online for so many hours. I think it is okay.
I guess to answer the previous question, Akshay, of like how can you incorporate delayed gratification in your life? A lot of good ideas from everyone. I just looked up a few things from Psychology Today, and they kind of suggested, rewarding healthy behaviors. So when you're making choices that are intentionally helping you towards the long run, if you've identified what those things are, that's an important thing first. So that way you can reward those things more instead of the instant gratification, because if you don't get gratified for the instant thing, then maybe you'll be forced to work more towards the longer term thing. And they also mentioned the importance of self-talks, like self-talk to yourself, of like your internal dialogue of, is this okay? What am I doing to myself? Like, what should I be doing instead? It shouldn't be negative self-talk. You shouldn't trash yourself in this process, but kind of using that as a way to regulate your actions and your behaviors, kind of an interrupting voice of sorts, that could be helpful. And in terms of, at least for me, since I do a lot of instant gratification, like something that I try to do is limit it. So if a way to start delayed gratification would be to limit instant gratification, right? So I try to, whenever I realize I'm mindlessly browsing on my phone, I set a timer on my phone. I set a timer for 5 minutes. And so as soon as the timer, like I can continue to waste my time for the next 5 minutes, but once the timer goes off, I don't turn it off until I've opened up my laptop, I've pulled up the thing I need to be working on, I do whatever I need to do, then I turn off the timer and start getting towards that. So that's one way I interrupt my instant gratification.
That's actually pretty good. I have this like productivity app that I use when I have to do work where I can't be interrupted. So it has a timer, so I know that okay, like while I'm doing this, I'm not gonna check my phone. I'm not gonna do anything. And like one other thing is, like when I go to sleep, I don't like to get called. So like any of my friends, they also know that like at night, if they call me, I'm probably not gonna pick up. So because what I do is I do put it on do not disturb, and I put my phone on the other side, so I won't even get the visual input. So at that time, like I'm not the greatest emergency contact.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to see more videos on the topic, make sure to check out our playlist where we answer more questions. We'll see you next time.